Wow, says President Trump in reacting to the decision from the Supreme Court this morning that upholds his travel ban. And a reaction continues to pour in. The White House issuing a statement saying it upholds the authority of the president in these type of cases. Meanwhile, Attorney General Jeff Sessions issuing his own statement just a short while ago saying, quote, "Today is a great victory for the safety and security of all Americans. The Constitution and acts of Congress confer on the president broad discretion to protect the interests of the United States. Today's decision is critical to ensuring the continued authority of President Trump and all future presidents to protect the American people. We will continue to take and defend all lawful steps necessary to protect this great nation." For more reaction, we're joined by Harvard Law Professor Emeritus Alan Dershowitz, who is with us now. Professor, you're known as a great harbinger of civil liberties in this nation. What jumps out you the most and is most legally significant by this ruling?
Well, we should never confuse support for a policy for the constitutionality of a policy. I'm strongly opposed to this policy. As a matter of morality, I think it doesn't protect us. Take, for example, a country like Iran, which is a terrorist country, and it doesn't have vetting, but it has so many good people in it who would make great American visitors and citizens. I think generalizing country by country is not the best approach, but it's constitutional. I predicted it would be upheld. I predicted it on Fox, on CNN, on many other places, because there's a big difference between something being good policy and something being constitutional or unconstitutional. So I'm going to continue to oppose the policy. I hope we can do better and vet people individually. But the Supreme Court did uphold it 5-4. Whether they would have upheld it had Gorsuch not been on the court, but rather the Supreme Court justice who was nominated by President Obama but kept off the Supreme Court, Merrick Garland, I don't know how the case would have come out if Merrick Garland had been the swing vote rather than Gorsuch.
Yeah,
so who was on the Supreme Court? Important question.
Yeah, a very narrow ruling, 5-4, as you point out. Do you agree with the dissent, Judge Sotomayor, saying that this shows a reasonable person would say that this was motivated by anti-Muslim animus? And do you agree with the critics who think this is basically anti-Muslim?
I don't think so. Not all the countries are Muslim, and not all Muslim countries are within the ban. Look, the vast majority of terrorist activities around the world, massive terrorist activities around the world, have come from countries like Saudi Arabia, and we're now seeing Syria. Iran is the greatest exporter of terrorism in the world. So I think the opposition is a little overwrought. As I said, I don't support the policy, but I don't believe that it violates basic civil liberties or constitutional law or human rights. Again, there's a line between opposition and saying the kinds of things that some of the opponents have been saying. So I don't think I do agree with the extent to which Justice Sotomayor condemned the policy of the administration. I think it's wrong, but I don't think it's an anti-Muslim ban. I think that's a mistake.
And legally speaking, the lower courts seem to take into consideration the president's tweets, what he said on the campaign trail. And the high court just basically narrowly focused just on the law. Why is that legally significant?
Well, when you have a president of the United States issuing an order, you can't say it's unconstitutional as to this president, but it would be constitutional if President Obama or President Hillary Clinton had issued it. You can't have one constitutional rule for one president and a different constitutional rule for another president. It's ironic that Justice Kennedy, who joined the majority opinion, did look at motivation when it came to the cake and the gay couple case. He did rule that the statements made by the Colorado Commission showed an animus toward religion. If that standard had been applied here, you might have had a different result. But I think there's a difference between a presidential action authorized by the Constitution and a ruling by a Colorado authority.
Professor Alan Dershowitz, as always, Professor Emeritus at Harvard Law, thank you for joining us this morning.
Thank you.
Of course.